Let it burst, whatever will, whatever must. I must know my birth, no matter how common it may be. I must see my origins face to face. She, perhaps, with her woman's pride, may well be mortified by my birth, but I count myself the son of chance, the great goddess, the giver of all good things. I'll never see myself disgraced. She is my mother. And the moons have marked me out, my blood brothers. One moon on the way, the next moon with great power. That is my blood, my nature. I will never betray it, never fail to search and learn my birth.
Yes, if I am a true prophet, if I can grasp the truth by the boundless skies of Olympus, at the full moon of tomorrow, Mount Cithaeron, you will know how Oedipus glories in you. You, his birthplace, nurse, his mountain mother, and we will sing you, dancing out your praise. You lift our monarch's heart. Apollo, Apollo, God of the wild cry, may our dancing please you. Oedipus, son dear child, who bore you? Who of the nymphs who seem to live forever mated with Pan, the mountain-striding father? Who is your mother? Who, some bride of Apollo, the god who loves the pastures spreading toward the sun? Or was it Hermes, king of lightning ridges? Or Dionysus, lord of frenzy, lord of the barren peaks? Did he seize you in his hands, dearest of all his lucky finds, found by the nymphs, their warm eyes dancing? Give to the Lord who loves them dancing out his joy.
I never met the man, my friend. Still, if I had to guess, I'd say that's the shepherd, the very one we've been looking for all along. Brothers in old age, two of a kind. He and our guest here. At any rate, the ones who bring him are my own men. I recognize them. But you know more than I. You should have seen the man before.
I know him, definitely. One of Lace's men, a trusty shepherd if there ever was one.
You, I ask you first, stranger. You from Corinth. Is this the one you mean?
You're looking at him. He's your man.
You old man, come over here. Look at me. Answer all of my questions. Did you ever serve King Laius?
So I did, a slave, not bought on the block, though born and reared in the palace.
Your duties. What kind of work?
Herding the flocks, the better part of my life.
Where? Mostly. Where did you do your grazing?
Well, Cithaeron, sometimes, or the foothills roundabout.
This man, you know him? Ever see him there?
Doing what? What do you mean?
This one here, ever have dealings with him?
No, not so I could say, but give me a chance. My memory's bad.
No wonder he doesn't remember me, master. But let me refresh his memory for him. I'm sure he recalls the old times we had on the slopes of Mount Cithaeron. He and I grazing our flocks, he with two and I with one. We both struck up together 3 whole seasons, 6 whole months, 6 months of the stretch, from spring to the rising of our turrets in the fall. Then with winter coming on to drive my herds to my own pens, and back he'd go with his, to Laius' folds. Now, that's how it was, wasn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, I suppose. It's all so long ago.
Come, tell me, you gave me a child back then, a boy, remember? A little fellow, to rear my own.
What? Why make that up again?
Look, here he is, my final friend, the same man who was just a baby then.
Damn you, shut your mouth, quiet.
Don't lash out at him, old man. You need lashing more than he does.
Why, Master, Majesty, what have I done wrong?
You won't answer his question about the boy.
He's talking nonsense, wasting his breath.
So you won't talk willingly? Then you'll talk with pain.
No, dear God, don't torture an old man.
Twist his arms back, quickly.
God help us, why? What more do you need to know?
Did you give him that child? He's asking.
I did. I wish to God I died that day.
You've got your wish if you don't tell the truth.
The more I tell, the worse death I'll die.
Our friend here wants to stretch things out, does he?
No, I gave it to him. I just said so.
Where did you get it? Your house? Someone else's?
It wasn't mine. No, I got it from someone.
Which one of them? Whose house?
No, God's sake, Master, no more questions.
You're a dead man if I have to ask again.
Then the child came from the house of Laius.
A slave? Or born of his own blood?
Oh no, I'm right at the edge. The horrible truth. I've got to say
And
it.
I'm at the edge of hearing horrors, yes, but I must hear.
All right, his son. They said it was his son, but the one inside your wife, she'd know it best.
My wife? She
Yes,
gave it
yes,
to you?
my king.
Why, what for?
To kill it.
Her own child?
She was afraid.
What?
She was afraid of frightening prophecies. They said he killed his parents.
But you gave him to this old man. Why?
I pity the little baby, Master. Hope he take him off to his own country, far away, but he saved him for this fate.
Oh God. All come true, all burst to light. O light, now let me look my last on you. I stand revealed at last, cursed in my birth, cursed in my marriage, cursed in the lives I cut down with these hands.
Oh, the generations of men, the dying generations. Adding the total of all your lives, I find they come to nothing. Does there exist? Is there a man on earth who seizes more joy than just a dream, a vision? And the vision no sooner dawns than dies, blazing into oblivion. You are my great example, you, your life, your destiny. Oedipus, man of misery, I count no man blessed. You outranged all men, bending your bow to the breaking point. You captured priceless glory, oh dear God, and the Sphinx came crashing down. The virgin, claws hooked like a bird of omen, singing, shrieking death. Like a fortress reared in the face of death, you rose and saved our land. From that day on, we called you king. We crowned you with honors. Oedipus, towering over all, a mighty king of the 7 gates of Thebes. But now to hear your story, is there a man more agonized, more wed to pain and frenzy? Not a man on earth. The joy of your life ground down to nothing, O Oedipus. Named for the ages. One and the same wide harbor served you, son and father both. Son and father came to rest in the same bridal chamber. How could the furrows your father plowed bear you, your agony, harrowing on in silence oh so long? But now, for all your power and time, all seeing time has dragged you to the light. Judged your marriage, monstrous from the start. The son and the father tangling. Both one, O child of Laius, would to God I'd never seen, never, never. Now I weep like a man who wails the dead, and the tears come pouring forth with all my heart. I tell you the truth. You gave me life, and my breath left up in you, and now you bring down my night.
Men of Thebes, always the first in honor, what horrors you will hear, what you will see, what a heavy weight of sorrow you will shoulder, if you are true to your birth, if you still have some feeling for the royal house of Thebes. I tell you, to neither the waters of the Danube nor the Nile can wash this palace clean. I tell you, such things it hides, it soon will bring to light. Terrible things, and none done blindly now, all done with the will. The pains we inflict upon ourselves hurt most of all. What can you add to them? The queen is dead? By her own hand. But you are spared the worst. And never to watch. I saw it all with all my own memory that's in me. You will learn what the poor woman suffered. Once she had broken through the gates, dashing past us, frantic, whipped to fury, ripping her hair out with both hands, straight to her room she rushed, flinging herself across the bridal bed, doors slamming behind her. Once inside, she wailed for Laius, dead so long, remembering how she bore his child so long ago, remembering how the life that rose up to destroy him, leaving its mother to mother living creatures with the very son she'd born. Oh, how she wept, mourning the marriage bed where she let loose that double brood, monsters, husband by her husband, children by her child. And then, but how she died is more than I can say. Suddenly, Oedipus burst in, screaming. He stunned us so we couldn't watch her agony to the end. Our eyes fixed on him, circling like maddened beasts, stalking here, there, crying out to us, "Give him the sword! His wife, no wife, his mother! Where can he find the mother earth that cropped 2 crops at once? Himself and all his children?" He was raging. He was raging, one of the dark powers pointing the way. None of us mortals crowding around him, no. With the great shattering cry, something leading him on, he hurled at the twin doors and bending the bolts back, out of their sockets, crashed through the chamber. And there he saw the woman hanging by the neck, cradled high in a woven noose, spinning, swinging back and forth. And when he saw her, giving a low, wrenching sob that broke our hearts, slipping the halter from her throat, he eased her down. In his slow embrace, he laid her down, poor thing. Then what came next? What horror we beheld. He rips off her brooches, the long gold pins, holding her robes and lifting them high, holding straight up into the points. He digs them down into the sockets of his eyes, crying, you'll see no more pain I suffered. All the pain I caused, too long to love the ones you never should have seen. Oh, no. Fierce voice like a dirge, right? Blind to the eyes you long to see, to know. Blind from this high we're on. Blind to the darkness, blind. His voice like a dirge, rising over and over, raising the pins, raking them down in his eyes, and at each stroke, blood spurts from the roots, splashing his beard, a swirl of it, nerves and clots, blacks of pale blood gushing, pushing down. These are the griefs that burst upon them both, coupling man and woman, the joy they had so lately. The fortune of their old ancestral house was deep joy indeed. Now on this one day, wailing, madness and doom, death, disgrace, all the griefs in the world that you can name are all theirs forever.